The Nebraska state legislature today has one senator calling for censorship of a filibustering colleague.
Omaha Senator Michaela Cavanaugh continued her filibuster against LB 574 today. She reportedly called the legislation genocide. The bill would ban gender-affirming care for transgender youth.
This is a genocide. This is an assault on a population of people because they are different from you.
So let's take a second.
Senator Slama called for a censor motion following these comments, saying Cavanaugh's words went too far and were offensive to victims of genocide.
If we don't have censure for stuff on the mic said like that, I don't know why we have a censure motion in the first place.
After a pause to discuss the motion,
Thank you, Mr.
the session
President,
resumed and the speaker said the legislature would not take up the matter. Cavanaugh vows to filibuster every bill for the rest of the session, meaning she can stall for 8 hours at a time.